Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again. This is Daddy Care 4 Stars Radio TV, Atlanta, Georgia. You would say with the information to keep you safe and productive in every society you belong. This is another beautiful day. I'm so excited. I know you're also excited. That's how we get down with it. We'll bring all the good information up to you in order for you to make a better choice. That's the power of the information. So we say be informed, make a profit, get an option, and support. That's why 4 Stars Radio TV is giving it back. The most important information is very, very, very crucial this day because if you can't get the better information, if you are not informed, then you can't make any better choices. So today is another beautiful day. So me and my entire world are going to have some great, great discussions about our beautiful country. I would say a small country with everything, but we still going through some challenges. And you and I, instead of being spectators, we want to be a citizen in order to bring all of 2 senses together to let our politicians or the leaders know and understand that we're still watching them from afar. Wherever we are, we're watching them. And so stay right there. I'll be right back. We're going to talk about a 2024 budget. 2024 budget. Either it's Ahumka, Asumji, whatever budget is being named. We're going to have some field discussion. We have a resourceful person who we're going to talk to in order to give us some more insight and education about it. I'll be right back with you.
Hello?
Akuya,
Yes.
eti sen,
Boko now swear.
na mi adom Ghana boko.
Boko.
Me
Now swear.
na mi adom me pegana aduane adi wo ho. Enti se wobetumi anya boode ne kontomire ne banchi nom de abrem ya nka mani beje pa obi be ba US na mi adom next week.
Now for the abroad.
You. Enti ode kekani na abom na nipa no ba me de number be ma na wa fro why.
Massive.
Ene bye.
Bye.
Hey, would they be a phone tarwa? So, and then if a bunch in a body free Ghana, Bremedians.
Akuya ma figure na aduane o. Ba wonim say US answer the edin so be nya Ghana aduane ato.
Or dear Chrome has a what a half ain't near Cosso or Hanumun now on say. Say, money me way, nature. Yeah, the Ghana by US abroach Memo Hanum say, Charlotte to a tropical market. Ubenya ni bit is say, and wo macro a horunina, a banquaya, a dear good chance him when no subenya be a young Maggie, Sardine, a horror, bayere, bordie, potato, brodo, enyadoa, emo, gari, wele, prekese, beans, a bro, and toast, milo, coconte, momo, ne crampono, upebia, ubenya be Charlotte way.
Edina boy na mahu baby ko. We na madam for be di ho dance the chairman. Yes, omoton African way nyina.
Anne, sawadam for need the one dance here chira or the anaye do cretro do, omoton African way, GT pentoma, I dear pampa me shirt, kama, I dear pam manta, dear, a dress, skirt, kawa, sandal, shoes, slippers, any coat, or multimission office, any baby being in Charlotte to a tropical market, at Tonton be one. I heard near saw the battle, Sissy, and other battles, and now saw the battle 9 pony Charlotte to where Tonton be one. She share a chirapine, 396 West Pike Street, number C, Lawrenceville, Georgia, 30046. Fryer, what telephone number way so 678-682-3577. Charlotte Way Tropical Market, African, Caribbean, and Latino market.
Your one-stop tropical shop.
You and just your grace, you have changed my story. Protocol breaker, you made a way. You turned my morning into day.
Asampaetia Obayansa Fusu Obunia one can asam. They move to some kakre wa supreme. Yo kofi oh my woman. Oh man ya mama. Yeni baby ako wacha za ya waren. Wonsom wani pa asa jipa wo fio ye. Yamo yembera ye ebe ya ifina. Oh my woman oh my mama. Adi wa ya no ra nyamita. Asampa etia. Obanyansafo so wo bunibia won kana asam. Ze mafutu sam kakre wa asopeme. Yo kofi, oh my ya woman. Oh man ya mama. Geni baby ako. Wacha za ya waren. Wonsom wanipa. Azadipa wo fioye. Demo yembera ye. Ebe ya ifina. Oh my ya woman oh. Oh my ya mama.
Required a more aggressive approach. It is important to note that in the short term, fiscal sustainability requires that we improve our tax ratios significantly, otherwise our long-term competitiveness will be eroded. As we all know, our country's 13% tax to GDP ratio is far below our peers. Our target is 18 to 20%, and we are on course with 16% hoping to be achieved this year. In that regard, it is difficult to implement all the structural reforms and tax reliefs needed to immediately lower and or eliminate certain tax handles. However, I assure this august House that we have heard, we believe in lower taxes as a government for industry, and we are working at this aggressively with the GRA and to be cemented with the Standing Committee of the Mutual Prosperity Dialogue. Mr. Speaker, further to the above, the following reliefs have been prioritized for implementation. To extend, Mr. Speaker, the zero rate of VAT on locally manufactured African prints for 2 more years. Mr. Speaker, to waive import duties on import of electric vehicles for public transportation for a period of 8 years. Mr. Speaker, to waive import duties on semi-knocked down and completely knocked down electric vehicles imported by registered EV assembly companies in Ghana for a period of 8 years. Mr. Speaker, to extend zero rate of VAT on locally assembled vehicles for 2 more years. Mr. Speaker, to zero rate VAT on locally produced sanitary pads. Mr. Speaker, to grant import duty waivers for raw materials for the local manufacture of sanitary pads. Mr. Speaker, to grant exemptions on the importation of agricultural machinery equipment and inputs and medical consumables, raw materials for the pharmaceutical industry. Mr. Speaker, a VAT flat rate of 5% to replace the 15% standard VAT rate on all commercial properties will be introduced to simplify administration. To address the negative externalities of plastic waste and pollution, government will review and expand the environmental excise duty to cover plastic packaging and industrial and vehicle emissions.
The government has said bye-bye to the people of Ghana.
Mr. Speaker, tax reliefs. Our approach to tax policy since 2017 was to give significant relief to the private sector until expenditure pressures from 2020 required a more aggressive approach. It is important to note that in the short term, fiscal sustainability requires that we improve our tax ratios significantly, otherwise our long-term competitiveness will be eroded. As we all know, our country's 13% tax to GDP ratio is far below our peers. Our target is 18 to 20%, and we are on course with 16% hoping to be achieved this year. In that regard, it is difficult to implement all the structural reforms and tax reliefs needed to immediately lower and or eliminate certain tax handles. However, I assure this august House that we have heard, we believe in lower taxes as a government for industry, and we are working at this aggressively with the GRA and to be cemented with the Standing Committee of the Mutual Prosperity Dialogue. Mr. Speaker, further to the above, the following reliefs have been prioritized for implementation. To extend, Mr. Speaker, the zero rate of VAT on locally manufactured African prints for 2 more years. Mr. Speaker, to waive import duties on import of electric vehicles for public transportation for a period of 8 years. Mr. Speaker, to waive import duties on semi-knocked down and completely knocked down electric vehicles imported by registered EV assembly companies in Ghana for a period of 8 years. Mr. Speaker, to extend zero rate of VAT on locally assembled vehicles for 2 more years. Mr. Speaker, to zero rate VAT on locally produced sanitary pads. Mr. Speaker, to grant import duty waivers for raw materials for the local manufacture of sanitary pads. Mr. Speaker, to grant exemptions on the importation of agricultural machinery equipment and inputs and medical consumables, raw materials for the pharmaceutical industry. Mr. Speaker, a VAT flat rate of 5% to replace the 15% standard VAT rate on all commercial properties will be introduced to simplify administration. To address the negative externalities of plastic waste and pollution, government will review and expand the environmental excise duty to cover plastic packaging and industrial and vehicle emissions.
All right. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we just want to thank all of you for taking the time to be here. Now we're gonna have some few interactions with the one and only the Tekbe, who is a political analyst all the way from Ghana, to tell us more about this 2024 budget. We all know and understand that some of this terminology and some of this explanation, it's beyond our understanding, some of us. And so if we have the analyst himself, he's going to let all of us know exactly what the wording means. So let me welcome Elder Tekbe. Elder, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me too?
Yes, I can hear you. It's a little far, but I can hear you because we are talking to Elder all the way from Ghana. And we all know that when we have a resourceful person like this, it makes the explanation or the understanding much more easier. So, Elder, thank you for taking the time to be here. I know it's late over there, but, for the sake of our country and your people, being a citizen, you've taken the time to pick our call. This 4 Stars Radio TV, Atlanta, Georgia, USA. And we are going to have this just about 2 questions from Elder, who is the specialist I've already mentioned him. Elder, what are the economic indications for this year 2024 budget from your understanding and your analysis that you've made so far?
Thank you very much, and good evening from Ghana to your cherished listeners and viewers.
Good evening.
Indeed, the 2024 budget of Ghana was presented on the 15th of November 2023 by the finance minister, and there were a few items that I would like to mention for us to understand. The main thematic areas of the budget is basically the revenue and then the expenditure. And the government has projected to spend about 226 billion Ghana cedis. And this is, in dollar terms, will be about $18 billion. And so this is total expenditure government intends to spend. And then for revenue, it is also intended to generate revenue of about 176 billion cedis, which is also about $15 billion. And so basically, the government is seeking to spend in excess of about $3 billion against its revenue. That's the shortfall between its revenue and then the expenditure is about 3 billion. I mean, about 16 billion and 15 billion. So that's about 2 billion. I mean, dollars that government intends to, spend. Now, when you look at the total budget framework, Ghana is currently under IMF program, where because of economic challenges in Ghana, government has to go to IMF for financial support. And so this budget was mainly influenced by the IMF conditions. As a result, government could not have over-ambitious budget. In the past, normally when you are going to an election year, because 2024 is an election year, normally government expenditure is huge. But because of IMF conditions, government has curtailed its expenditure. And so this is the introductory aspect of the economic policy. There are other things that government, intends to do. They want to expand the economy to a GDP of 1 trillion Ghana cedis. And this means that government wants more growth to take place in the economy. And so we will look at certain areas that will influence this growth.
Okay. Now, what about let's talk about these some of the items that were mentioned of. I know if you heard me or you held the finance minister speaking, he made mention of some indications of things that has been reduced. For instance, the hospital that needs to be built, the La hospital that needs to be built, and some few things. Now, can this budget, budget have a good or bad implications on the economy?
Well, like I indicated, because this budget is influenced by the IMF conditions, there is little that government can do in terms of capital projects. The government intended to build 111 hospitals, and the La General Hospital is one of them. Unfortunately, for the past 7 years, government has not been able to, start this La General Hospital. They put it down, and then they wanted to rebuild it. Unfortunately, they could not. And they indicated that they will start work very soon. 1 year, next year is the only year left for this government, to end the second term. And it is going to be very difficult for government to mobilize revenue to be able to construct this hospital. And so the capital expenditure next year is going to be difficult for government, because revenue mobilization is one of the difficult things that normally governments struggle with. However, there are a few tax reliefs that they have indicated in the budget which will help some industries. Just that it will only help selected few. For instance, they said that there's going to be zero VAT on locally manufactured produced African prints. So locally manufactured African prints, there's not going to be VAT on it for 2 years. They said they are waiving import duties on imported electric vehicles for public transportation. Electric vehicles in Ghana is not a popular thing. Many few people, use electric vehicles or are now importing, because we don't have the infrastructure for the use of electric vehicles in Ghana. And so it's going to be a very difficult thing for the government, and this is not going to benefit a lot of people, because not many people use electric vehicles in Ghana. Then they also said they are waiving import duties on semi-knocked down and completely knocked down electric vehicles. The same thing, they are also going to, there's going to be exemption of importation of agriculture and machinery equipment and then input for medical consumables. Well, agriculture in Ghana is one of the commonest, professions, but unfortunately, much attention is not paid to it. However, those who are on it in large scale, they will benefit from this. And so, although government has announced certain tax measures, like I just indicated some of them, the areas that it will support are few. One of them too is they have also zeroed or waived off VAT on a pad, for instance. And so it is something that we are hoping that it will benefit a few of the people. Unfortunately, not many people will be able to benefit from this.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, the government, if you look at the budget according to what we overheard, the government has christened this 2024 budget as a victory budget, while the NDC MPs described it as empty and hopeless. So where do we stand, or where do we draw the line here?
Well, the NDC description as empty budget is a political description, because a budget cannot be empty. So far as something was read and there are certain things in there, it cannot be empty. But of course, that is the usual practice where the opposition will always give a name to, criticize the budget. But there are certain things in there. Just that expectation of many people have not been met in the budget, because there are high taxes that is destroying or actually bringing down a lot of companies. There is a lot of taxes. Import duties are very high. So when you import raw materials for production, it's very high. Industries are faced with high taxes, and people were expecting that there will be a reduction in these taxes. There is a tax called COVID-19 levy. People were expecting that it will be scrapped. But government is very much constrained in terms of revenue mobilization, because debt is high, and that is the reason why government couldn't, do anything about that. And so, even though the budget has been described by the NDC as empty, the NPP also describe it as victory, because they have been able to secure an IMF deal, and this is the first budget after the IMF deal. And of course, in 2022, as of December, inflation was at 54.1%. Today, inflation is at 35.2%. Even though it's still high, they see it as, an improvement. And that is the reason why they are describing it as victory, because certain economic indicators like inflation has come down. Interest rate used was very high. As of 2022 December, interest rate was about 40%. Today it's around 35%. So even though it's still high, there has been some reduction. The Ghana cedis has depreciated hugely against the US dollar. And so
all right, gentlemen, those of you who are listening to us right now, we having this interview with Elder Peter Tekpe, who is a political analyst from back home, and because of our internet connections on both sides, we call something BGP, Border Gateway Protocol. So every now and then it shakes a little bit. So we're going back to make sure we got Elder on to continue our conversation, because we want to make sure that we got more of this declaration or this explanation better in order for us to make those good choices we've been always making. So I'll be right back. Stay right here. I'll be right back. Let me take my quick commercials, and I'll be back. Charlotte's Way Tropical.
Hello.
Akuya,
Yes.
eti saying,
Boko now swear.
Namiadum Ghana Boko.
Nyame boko. Now swear.
Namiadum me pegana aduane adi wo ho. Enti se wobetumi anya bode ne kontomire ne banchinom de abremia nkamani beji pa obi beba US namiadum next week.
Now for the abro. You.
Enti no wo de kekani nyina abom na nipa no ba me de number be ma na afro why.
Matters.
Enya bye.
Matters, bye.
Hey, would they be a phone tarwa? So, and then if I bunch in a body free Ghana, Bremedia.
Akuya ma figure na aduane o. Ba wonim say US answer the editing so be nya Ghana aduane ato.
O de krom ha say what ha kwa. Enti ne ekoso wo hanom nyina onte ye. Say mani me we na twam. Ya de Ghana ba US abrochima mu hanom say Charlotte Way Tropical Market. Obenye nuane bi te say enwo macro ahoro nyina abenkwan a ye de egu chance mu eno so benya bi wo ho. Eye magi sardine ahoro baye ayere, bodie, potato, brodo, enyadoa, emu, gari, wele, prekese, beans, ebro, toast, milo, kokunte, momo, ne crampono. Upebia, ubenya do Charlotte way.
A dinner boy and a mamma baby. We na madam be di who dance at the chairman. Yes, almost African way na.
Anne, so I don't need the one dance yet, child, the anaya do create rodo, almost on African way, GT pin for my idea, pam, my shirt, come, idea, pam, manta, dear, a dress, skirt, kawa, sandal, shoes, slippers, any coat, or Michelle office, any baby being in Charlotte way tropical market, at home be one. I near saw the battle, see another battle, and I saw the battle 9 pony Charlotte way to be one. She share a chirapine, 396 West Pike Street, number C, Lawrenceville, Georgia, 30046. Friday, our telephone number way so 678-682-3577. Charlotte Way Tropical Market, African, Caribbean, and Latino market.
Your one-stop tropical shop.
You and just your grace, you have changed my story. Protocol breaker, you made a way. You turned my morning into dancing. It is you and just your grace. Could not have made it without you.
Abusiafo dadkeni mesama obibia akwa bibiom na yeni Elder Peter Tekpe, Elder Peter Tekpe. Woye political analyst na ya twetwe enkomo no mo amunim ahomatefo yi edu bebia na ebuneni prepare na wa kyerɛkyerɛ ye akohumasika oman Ghana akohumasika afia eda yenim 2024 ye na yenim se eno asusu mu ena yeto aba eno emu ena yeto aba dintino sa akohumasika de ade nyina no eka ho ena afeso enema bi o se tete any IMF conditionalities no na me babubo bia so esanse ono expert ninti nanka ye bibisa ensemfo ba akomienu bi na wetumi achechere ase emuyie esanse wo ye dan ya akomusika no ebeba se eba hina ena eba beboa no ebeboa me ebeboa wo ebeboa ye nuanom ye maamenom ne ade eno na ye na ehia afezusu ye hwe sika ye sɛ no ewo man no mu sika yetumi edituto nneoma bi a ehu hia ana se oman nze ye kan say misplacement of priorities se onho ye la hospital say na ede kana kamba bibisa na wasem kakra na yeguso yepuso ahoma no se yensa ebeka no enti yenhwe ye majority caucus no so no nia anu year wo mo de bai abra atoforce edi na no yedia yenko ya mepese kokutie atoforce mbiom na yemfa we sinto aso yenti atoforce.
This budget is insensitive and out of touch. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Minister, you and members of the economic management team, led by our Vice President, you are leaving behind a bankrupt economy.
Honorable Minority Leader, address the chair.
Mr. Speaker, it is important for us to note that this government is leaving behind a bankrupt economy. This government is leaving behind a default economy, or in other words, yentia economy. Mr. Speaker, this government is leaving behind a budget that is debt-riddled. It's leaving behind behind an economy that is overtaxed. You are leaving behind an economy that is seeing hyperinflation. You are leaving behind an economy that is seeing high food inflation. And you are leaving behind an economy that is seeing high monetary policy rates. As if that is not enough, Mr. Speaker, this government is leaving behind an economy with high lending rates. You are again leaving behind an economy with high unemployment rate. Mr. Speaker, as if again that is not enough, you are leaving behind a misery index that has never been witnessed in this fourth republic. In fact, you are leaving behind a misery economy. In other words, a witchery economy. Mr. Speaker, to conclude on this matter, let me say that they are also leaving behind an economy where we are seeing massive and uncontrolled corruption according to the Bishop Conference. Mr. Speaker, this is the scorecard of this government. This is the legacy they are leaving behind. And so most importantly, I'm not surprised that today, you are here reading the budget alone. Where is the governor of the Bank of Ghana? Nowhere. Where is the vice president? Nowhere. But let me say, they cannot abandon you. You did this with them. And so they are the faces of destruction, and you are part of it. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Mr. Minister. Bye-bye, MPP. Then here, this is your scorecard. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members.
Ebusiafo wei eje mrashemedwemu yeto aba edema won na omohwe omane so edeman wohu kasa eni ne ye a womuye wo ho a na edu anase ehia se yebebisa se eba ne sen adenti ena yehu nia yehu se enioma ekoyi a eyehina ena woje ndumunyam ena sa ankoyi so a ehina ena yede sobo yede ebono yehwe sako mesika yi a na emia se ye elder nanka wo ka bibi afa ye lade no nanka me bebisa no ensemfo ba ko mienu bi na wo a wo hwe wo fie no wo so wetie bi esanse wo ye Ghana ne wo ye mamba pa ya wo hwe e wo TV so anase wo tie radio ne ade wo so wo die etisen budget e bae wo die wo mu ana yan die ne ye kan se e wo se budget no eba ebebo ye nyina enye se kokodi afana ba akopɛ enti maybe sa mimi saw abra wutie me a say wo budget wai yenya yenenam kaya yefo ne ye ayi nduma nkumenkume na ababebo ya na maybe saw eya sembisa enti uwa no yi afabra obetumi the comment section with that to all the social media platforms and networks and all bomodiana for comment yanko den konkuti afenyo market so emwaya wode bae na menim se eye afeku bi ana wo mobile na wedie monfancheme na mia mehwe na mitia metumi se bibi nkoye yede yabrabo edi akoro oman Ghana pa enie yenkoti afenyo market.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Mr. Speaker, we on this side heard you loud and clear. And relying on Order 143, quote, whenever a motion that this House approves the financial policy of government for the year is moved by the minister responsible for finance, the debate on it shall stand adjourned for not less than 3 days. Mr. Speaker, we are more than ready.
And although the minority leader knew about this, he decided to do what he wanted to do for whatever purpose he so desired. But Mr. Speaker, this is the man, Dr. Atufos, who was a deputy. Mr. Speaker, this is the same Dr. Atufos, Deputy Majority Leader. Just to honorable members, please. The reference to this is a man. It's an honorable colleague. So please refer to him as that, not this is a man. Mr. Speaker, the honorable minority leader is the same honorable member of parliament who was a deputy minister of finance when the economy was in its worst state. Mr. Speaker, this is the same Dr. Atufos who was a deputy finance minister who even without COVID could not, with his boss, the finance minister, and their government, implement the free SHS. This is the same Dr. Atufos. Mr. Speaker, if today this government has implemented free SHS successfully, and Mr. Speaker, today the figures bear us out. We have a transition enrollment rate of over 80% as compared to the 55% in your era. And today, because of the liberties of opposition, you are telling the honorable finance minister that he has underperformed when your own administration had the worst performance out of us. Let me assure you that the figures cannot be toyed with. Dr. Atufos, let me remind you that your government could not implement a single landing beach project. You came into this house with a loan. You chickened out and you came to do capping. This government has successfully heard the cries of the fishermen, and we have constructed 12 landing beach sites. You come from the central region. You've not been able to do that for the people of central region. And you are telling him that he has underperformed. Hey, at all. Hey, Dr. Boston. Hey, at all. Are you saying that you as a deputy finance minister, you did better than Kenokoyata? Is that what you are saying? Mr. Speaker, it's the same NDC with its old men. They have no more card to play. They played their only joker on the scorecard. And today, you tell us that this economy is in its worst state. It was worse with all that we've experienced under COVID, with all that we've experienced on the global space. We have managed to keep the lights on. We inherited Kumso under you. We inherited a situation where children could not go to secondary schools. And Mr. Speaker, we are ready for you today, tomorrow, any other day. Mr. Speaker, I thank you so much indeed.
Ebusiafo ya kwakote nia eko sunu nyina mema wafa ya kwaba wafa ya makwaba
Daddy came, Joe. So,
Bibiabo adum ya you go so metumka metumka sa na meni agia I was of yina yinu akuma de bia me ka say of ni obia se wonya memfan say amanyosem ekwanyi a wo fire de on ni remfimi ye nyina de bia ye ka say ye boa busiafo mu kokodu Ghana wo mun ka ye bi na enye omu kokodu Ghana pe no mu refree omu ye free kra say say yeah kan ho nti no ya tu adwumadi no so budget 2024 and mwate eho ensem bebre no na asembisa is this budget a good budget and I can say me bisa ye openi and say elder Peter Tekpe wo ye political analyst na me bisa no wo ni chechemu e de bai nti me ko mabedwafo so na makoko bisa won wo fire and edika bai eja safaka makaba papa empom ti say
yeah kola ati say and then me hu dodom takra be si ade my equal and I'm brave party
okay.
But I'm feeling okay.
You're feeling better now. Okay. Sa near pe. Obeyende. I don't know. And you say baby who no ube trabaji ube come adwin. E kwan ya wo say faso na yetumi ye de hwe on mine akọ humesika no. So wo fire.
Daddy
Aban what is this year purchase say budget to a budget be a so cry ember that a mu hwehwehwehwem a yankunumdie budget na NDC for MPs no wo mu say sa budget we e che say ati say wakọ nsuo wo de kentan akọ nsuo emu hwehwehwehwehwe bibie nim ye ga say eni da so back brain na ahai dear ena wuhunu and dear ena obeka fa ho or say way is an empty and a hopeless budget whilst MPP and I say abanya in Cuban or say this is the beautiful, the beauty and then the victory budget internal file wonim de no yehwe wo so de ne tie we si eyenkunum de we si say ebi nim kra intimitie wu na makokote eja esafaka nti wo fa maniko.
Thank you very much. I did share the Kamichiao.
Michiao,
my co-panelist in Asafwaka, Mamia, my new job at Basso. And I'm a chair at Chief Winning answer. And I'm chair the Trato Michendi Winning, especially a flag bearer, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Obey President, come January 2025, 7 January 2025, inshallah. And I'm chair Trato Medema NDC New York branch winning, especially. Chairman Bafo and Samuel Ansa and Alima Silva, Methiopia. Okay, that decay, welcome you. Men own self for the whole week now. My
handicap, kakra. Yeah.
But still, no, you know, self politics in the we know what is going on.
I know.
That decay, I will start by this. That decay, we all know. And say, Abay. Say ade papa bi wo mu a anase kenofurata de eyi papa bi beba enkono ani ministers mpo enka nkire ni ministers ni MPs enka nkire president ni say one pam no that the came patcho so ya well
right
because oyo bi a ye nyina Ghana fo nyina ni tua including ono ani MPs ni appointees no ehun say he has been the worst ever minister we have ever had, finance minister ever under the Fourth Republic. Even not even under the Fourth Republic, the total Ghana under from the First Republic up to now, he is the worst ever. But I mean, actually, because of time, he made settle only under the Fourth Republic. And in America, sir, that the Kenyan say a bang, a bang, your mama promise. So back here, that the anytime I mean, minim said Dr. Okwan Pabeba so anas one minim. Anytime we debate on economic issues, you know, always be before when they were in opposition, some or no more opposition. Now, Dr. Kwampa projected Ken Ofori-Atta as one of the finest ever minister, finance minister, Ebenya. Time or yet in a buy. Because you're so called yes, and no call say, Dr. Kwampati Mika Tre, what has said, as you say, the tekpe, and man yet to say, the tekpe no or yet to say, that you can remember what dear Bika Kratia for Mutia. One who said secondary school, those time best are for Bina now, you know, Mutia school with Mamma. But also would him thank for no. Hello.
Meet you, dear Cassa.
Very good. Dr. Kwampa, who says a tekpe the oil that type no Mahama'S no buy. Me chat rank Kabia sometimes to come here play back. Yeah. You know, but I want to say, maybe in the atro so well him. Because in some making in a or describe it as a third so be a second die Theobodom Beza, senior high Beza, and a Mahama'S buy. I just own you machine in and say, ye 2 years to cookies a man a manager to us, the Beza for no more accounting knowledge, Kakra, money, or mere Beza. That is how the sector was described here during Mahama'S era. But look at the performance that decade. And now Projectic and Opurata as one of the finest ever. Yeba Benya say, or no about Ben Kukwado, the Ghana Bay, including the economic management team leader, Pomia. Was setting 170 questions. Ama Misata, Misata and Timia answer. And I heard him say, it was perceived, he said, that decade. So 170 questions in that decade. And no a problem to Nanka Misata to me answer ya. It a problem to Nika. That decade not on it. But Misata and me answer to that I'm not a problem. I'm not minor to see up and some. And I never to Obama Sani Paya or 30 questions in Abba. It is over a problem in our solve. And so then you wound under the Yale Obioko Yale, which is okay no Pratano. Look at the performance. September DSC 56% there to GDP. And Sana Yepia, almost the Yakra that you can get on okay. Obviously 56 the Yakra by now bomb. That's why Mahama'S was named incompetent, including the team Nina, Baumiaka, Omunaka. And the NUOB, but Omo can say a year of Oporiata no can Ubrata dedicate 56% or Babetisu, which are budget in my or manifesto, or Betis about 46%. Educated Jina 56 in Boy Jina. Yen 104%. Dedicate. What does that tell you? A double that tells you BBA say, and I dedicate any time I will run government, now we get to GDP and you're rising Edru 80 and I say 76 krana. That's a sasa because why Juma obedi na say 100%. Educated it. Now, so the 50 is 76, and almost like Obi or Qatar here. They are putting blame on COVID and what do you call it, Russia and Ukraine war. But before COVID, my culture had that before COVID, no man moved there to GDP now for 76%, which is 200% increase, which shows that and yet because Uchi and Sika about 40 billion and almost servicing them. Ahinaka, Sikasa now debate your salary, Sikasa now debate your NHA health insurance. Sikasa now debate school feeding. That became Bachosa Otemas. You are following me?
Right. Yeah.
Money 100%. It is a 1.76 per. Let's just say 15%. 50% which makes you as school feeding. As health insurance America. And nothing any breno dedicate because we are overspending, we are overburdening the economy. What do you say? And a canon swan and no brugum. So what do you say? If you didn't see the aqua, and now 76% through 76% may catch us before COVID, and they could do 76. As economy now say that. And there is no way they could blame COVID, Russia and Ukraine and what? This are only Israel is for the other account. What do you say? There is no way COVID has contributed. COVID should rather dedicate a blessing to this government because almost you 30 billion from COVID. And no much or muchema constituency executives now in your tape or say or no 50,000 constituency chairman be 50,000 or much can it set off dedicate COVID money 30 billion from IMF from what do you call it, International Monetary Fund and a corporate body donating. It is COVID now can go. It was a blessing in disguise for this government. COVID no have a blessing to them because how many 30 billion dedicate But Umian country say you only 30 billion and Ghana in toilet is your problem and your problem. That is how guys are taking. COVID alone gave them 30 billion. And no matter borrow 500 billion their account. Into who how anything. Yasa jaw 3 oil fields. That is the problem. Mahama'S the 1 oil field pet and they build a Ghana. That is the 1 oil field. All few or not the 2 are better. Sanko Pate and Jubilee. Mahama'S time they harvesting oil only 100,000 barrels a day, and they harvest before you see about 20 you harvesting 200,000 barrels of oil a day under this government. That you come on and say it's borrowing the revenue free, and there's no rising like that. No for what? What we just can be? What you say? It is a budget. You know, I could do say at the Papa Ben the baby that is the first question you have to ask yourself. As an ordinary person, you wouldn't even share Quran. You're there to GDP 104. And the other Papa Ben, 56, no, no, government now born, and they are going to do 104. What do you say? And then the cabinet of it, one would say for the first time, no, they are not able to pay service our debtor. And see that under any government during Mahama'S time, that you can near the 10 billion servicing them. Or before COVID, no more use 40 billion the servicing them, and then more than 50 something. Yeah, the servicing them. Now, what do we think? Would about 50 billion plus servicing data. That you can hear now the way your salary. Yeah, now the way your obey no NIT health no. Yeah, now the way my school fee. That you can one be another quality. Say yana economics and government now here can say that you. This is the tracker I'm putting out there. Because who care? She can't be in car. Into a beam cost school feeding. Into men who are watching the Anoma instead to say nominate the amount of Nati could be. And you move forward because the speaker is not there. The day is not there. That is but so this is how the whole thing is. In the economy, Nipana was I don't know, me person you to have been is it not the same group of people that have seen there? Kenopurata nya dentima Akufo-Addo in Takinana. And Akufo-Addo say omomani ready. It was 2023 budget never. Already we are no amana kopeni baby ahome. We are ready amana that it was and then we ready 2024 budget. Why is Kenopurata so opposed? Obi awa bet to a minor something. You say you no print.
Yeah, Simami. Simami, I can't minute back.
How many minutes?
1 minute.
I can't minute back.
Aye.
Eh?
Aye.
1 minute. Thank you very much. If that the case, send your meeting to where you now at the Papa Ben or budget. It means there is nothing there. It is just there. Present to the people, keke. And now can put that away. As we speak, there is no economy. Upon 3 oil fields bequeathed to them, salary, BBR double, COVID money, near the any debt ye bebrebe ma boro nyina no wo ma cheni nyina di pepe chedi ebi na gu sisi ada pampa te dey asifo no it has to stand that decay yenye time no na the economy was rated B minus that decay omu say enye ndey C minus the papa and you come and tell me say your economy is running under triple C minus which is a junk economy no one could enough parliament say who present here there any hope beba then you are is it not an irony? Typical irony. You are speaking ironically. You are not trying to tell Ghanaians the truth. And I wonder why the person that stood there was saying all those things. So you minimum the level of education here. But
now, would you mean? So would you go so on? I think your market. Would you your market zone? He's everywhere.
It's your market who was speaking.
Yeah.
Okay. That became Mama because he has to defend the government at all costs. I mean, Putin is because what he's saying there is completely out of place. But he has to defend the government because he has to defend. So what they are saying, he has to defend the indefensible. Let me put it that way. All that he's saying there is completely out of place. They have completely crashed the economy, and there is no economy under
Joe, Mate.
Until next year we change government and John Mahama, the nation builder, come and then we set up a new economic mandate. Under this government, the leading, which were Baumia leading, total failure. I don't know if I don't want to use any word. They have performed shambolically and abysmally ever in the history of Ghana.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mate, What for you on the in Kano or see the nation builder is coming. You know, you said the nation building tours air coso until come 2025 dear. You know, what would you say good? You know, would you say good? Was so obviously no was and to make up a jar as a faka. Yakasa after 2024 akonhuma bosika. That is 2024 budget. I fear the enemy no as sooner. You be quite about to until Bisa MPP for say budget kunumdi budget NDC for esi way chese enyenyenyenyenye chese budget we put be mad what in our fire cry eka source until me call a just for no on so enfani into as papa who say a fine and a draw line a fine na yenkonko die we sisa a fine so say we enye kra until a just for car chirawaji.
Yeah, come on, me do say. What do you mean?
Between ka yepa, yeah.
I'm so bit young. That was what I said. Why are they mulio? Come on, me and topic about assembly. I may become a imagine it will be our right. We be between our case. We be between our Canadian. I accept any criticism. You kind of. Budget statement or whatever I'll call it, militant COVID is just theory. We may try to say a theory into whatever it entails. Unless a best touching, we may move the practical aspect of it. Either than that, you've heard it. Even the current government, how many times we already budget a whole lot. To me, no, imagine we found it a theory. I'm not going to waste time on it. We're not trying to blame you. You can't be, and again, you could see it is a thing. One of the young people does an ability. Therefore, when it starts to work out, then we assess it, and then we can make comments and whatever contribution that I think we can. But as it stands now, let's take it as it is. To me. I'm not going to talk too much about the budget. Let me come here, where as somebody who loves Ghana, it's a big shame onto the former Deputy Finance Minister of our Parliament. He's just, I'm sorry to use some words, he doesn't fit for position. Big shame onto him. And Kassabile Okamoni is very childish and very primitive. Tell him, it's time, sir. You can't pay for what they are called to do. Because Kasa, that's into our parliament. So you will turn like a second and not Kasa here. Why? Because of this. Young Kosi could grow. Woman, you want a former minister, deputy minister. What did you do? Because what actually me said, the man deputy minister at that time not qualified to be because is childish and and the shame onto him. We see the class and him go to not also. Obi, again, we know the offense a theory. What's why a deputy minister that? For one topic, question, this whole question are not elaborated. Look at where it has its weak point. Just look at what the OPA is. Did that man speak anything sensible? It's a question. And it's time that we have to talk to your representative. That they should use their normal senses. That you see, as you say, your mom will tell her, but it's the opposite side. We have to tell them what we want them to go and do at Parliament. But Ghana, we blame Ghana for. Obey a deputy minister, and I'm challenging this man. Sir, man, Quebec, sir, the time you will call you are controlling, but how many former radio station now, which is by a poster, classic radio, we spoke on it. And the man by I am one. And then no crowd prove it to say, when you're wealthy of the position of the man. And I don't know why still your pamphlet say when you're a minority speaker. Shame on whoever went there to vote for that man. Because of Kasa, sir, you know, it's very childish. Anybody can become a doctor. Because Ghana, you reward knowledge. You don't add common sense to it. Who could have degree there? That is what we worship. It is time that we get practical, conscious people to deal with them. And here, when you about to say, I will still say it once again. He's a shameful leader at that parliament. When the young contribute, I'll talk to people come to and say, some back the camera there, say, nobody's going to say, and you say, shame on to him. With the corner, they will say, make clear say, it's time that we have to tell our representatives they are not there for themselves. We want to present it in the public. If the young people we want to asama, they improve you about Omani. Now, because the man the biggest opposition party, your Ghana, we like so many things. And they have to beef up. So we can Ghana cause no more back as opposition with knowledge and wisdom. They need to back up. They have a lot of loopholes. First, if I can be to debt to GDP, it's nothing. Debt to GDP is I'm so calculate a monthly or whatever. What the dollar is used to calculate the current GDP. Debt to that is not anything. It is $1, but $1 to one cedi to $1. When it comes down and you calculate that GDP will come down. It's not something to say. And yet it is no. That's a ratio no former. Basically, that means the dollar rate was down. And I'm also saying, going back to the deputy finance minister, but for Qatar, this is a minority leader. Say on to him. The time on a year and next. And I can know a deputy minister for balance and the Ghana to get them. Call a spade. Let's call an act. What did they do? I wish you can come in and come opportunity and let me let me be some questions. Me deputy, you can me let finance me let details in finance. But make you be some questions here because of the Okata on crown. You can make some questions, maybe you will not be able to answer. And debt to GDP ratio is nothing that we've not seen before. And you know what? Debt to GDP ratio, whatever. It's not anything. Come on, we want a bemuno. I didn't know my year. We want bemuno. We not down again. And I like the second question out there. That's why we are going to talk on it. And I want to make a bit of our questions. It's time that we have to call a state. Okay. Let me throw my mind is because the Yakarina, Parliament crowd, you will make of Parliament and the Crown Committee of Parliament. Because two parties in a some of Yaka and just the ability to throw Mama, the nation yet to be born. It's time. I like her. What be a radio station where American you have childish politicians and representatives in Ghana. It's time we call them to order. May that say.
So it's a faka, I don't know, or say it's time to call them to order. You know, one kasa be brave. Make our mammy mama kwaba.
Yeah.
And probably to say.
Yes, I do more.
Good. Meaning say was we baby PSU and nature say ya ko yini mo answer yan konkwa say won wo yenjina e wo baby a ebusia fo 2024 a year budget once and a year minority essay a year hopeless empty BBN count BBN and a majority majority for to say we a year victory budget just a bia womnam or moment say a numa edu 10 top say agendas and as priorities be a one more to ho and mamma ekasa we are maybe bonusu ediaba na yaka once say once some na yaka aka o sika de ya ehu hia pa na ehwe 2024 no sika kro mo tweto is about 21 billion Ghana cedis inti mamma wa bebe pay so mamma yente wo so wadwene budget ya bay what be eyedan ya what be etisen eye papa eye nkonumdi eye hwie be anase etisen wadwenkyere manenko mamema
yo that is me mama jo echiete for so na budget no like you're saying no meaning core details because sabe minimum ho adade and honestly to be honest because sometimes we have to be honest to the core
right
me ba you know so me say that is afaka say either MPP or NDC sometimes we have to blame them I am Usha Parliament case here about from beginning I can't watch them for 7 years Muslim minority there is nothing whatsoever more opposed Bibia move a car 1 to 1 to 1 to Namagiatu move a car Namagiatu before Amukako review budget yes you Amuko review our guy no refugee in the hotel now that is Usha Sika Amukako spending a hotel for 3 nights Omino drivers, the police for Diomuchi, any security for Nadiana. This is a book for. It's because your budget in a car day. Oh, it's a look up on NDC for say, Momunko, because I don't see a Sikahunu, but I'm so Mukwa, the NDC for Benum, and one MPP for them. It's about time, great train. I think we have to stop some of these things because Ghana, no. They don't do anything that is bringing progress. Now, can you say, I guess, a budget in Kapono, or more Kaya, a progressive. Because Batten, I did 2 sets grapple. You see, Ghana. You need now, so call other countries, Singapore, now, the Omodi I should cry a squeezy juice, Nimia, Nehans, Omodi backs, Niniama. Yeah, yes, Ghana. Bibia sabi kente no cry fra then 2 man crapple your free baby near the bar. How can you even budget me feel say your income, your gross and whatever your balance or more money finances no. But you're producing. So what are we minusing and plusing for? And what I say omoba normally a tax no egugusuma taxpayers no egugusuma taxpayers no not taxpayers name so far meanwhile you are not even creating jobs for them and more NDC for more parliament now more fight the commoners are now the yina yakano obo pano moka na mo suma preso na mo na mo say okufo ayi na betrewo sana almost shake mo NDC ni MPP na me meti baby na me sofa for NDC ni MPP me come as MBO that is budget no mo for me because they don't think about the country Mamen country period they are not thinking about the country and they because as them say when 2 elephants fight so is the ground surface they are not thinking about just God of war from the president to the lowest ranked person. Omonia badaya for the people, for the indigenous of the country. How so Obiba Parliament 4 years? Now I see like a cracker. How so Obiba Parliament? No, I be ready by the tax with the money that we are giving to you to build your houses, no. Now the tax Abeka say now we see young clap for way, and now we should discuss what is so fantastic about the budget that we have to go into details with. There's nothing. More taxpayers in Abeka. more. But at the bottom line, what are you doing for the people? I don't care. Some buy a museo, a coffee pineapple factory, is producing this. This is what we got. We got 4 million from there. And you buy the buyer no you import to say. But you want near is say like you are saying like a joke, no. Like a Canadian Japan and yet the arrogance in the year. I can be a source of a winning presidential. Because although the ideas no so even if he hasn't put it into action, it makes sense saying the NDC MPP 4 year or whether John say Mamino, where say Papa no, where say Sewa Brody, where she say, you are not telling us anything. We are tired of all these things. Talk to the people. America, you want to emulate America, no? They take care of the people. They take care of the people. The vulnerable, taxpayers food stamp, all these things. But at least I have a say in America. Because I know I'm protected by the government, security wise, financially, BBR. Yeah, taxes are at the end of the day, they give us back some. Ghana, which taxes are here movie. And I'm not gonna wait any geomusika, okay, do something. Nana could do buy a crap, she did well. Or see dentistry. So dentistry, mom, was at the market, the kids to go to school. Okay, one person how to do Gary, how to I don't almost say Nina. Oh, I love whereby the people of the country are enjoying. Shall I say, yes, be important or Tantambia Bagana, Emma school for Yari, that became Mikogana. This is not about the topic, but Mikogana also Ghana secondary schools at TSCC. So what are you reading the budget for? Did you build more schools? Did you build hospitals? Where is the gross and where is the income and where is the importation and whatever that you're giving us a budget about? Oh, Ghana is sick, man. Ghana is a sick country. I swear to God. Who do a pot? You may do Musika Star, Cosita Mobile Frio, or Biam Roberts, or Biana LGB, or the Cosidai. It's so disgusting. I'm telling you, either beggars or pickpockets. Corruption is the Liberia not Ghana and the Swasso. Are they?
Wow, Mamiama is emotional. Mamiama is emotional. Ono ani krumu. That's what General baby and the episode for that Kenya 4 stars of radio TV. Atlanta, Georgia, USA, Afi Mawurin Frisa, Upe, Jumedia B. Ediabo, Modiana, Tunsa, 4 stars say, Woto Bedin, Wuye, a sorry, be any, Upe say, Yadibegu, other phone from Mummy Mama, Modia, na Fred, Daddy Kane, Babishama, Kama, Bibia Kosubi, and his son say, you will be our bonium, you will be our ditchame, you will be our champhony, any video near Dina, you will be our. Na isansa wo ha suntu wo ye kromini ya na ebo no so eda fom enya de a ye free mom de but eda fom a obetumi etua sa nti sa pepe sisi bibia ya adefo enema na ye wo hwe wo fire o New York ton na wo be efidie so mususu amotie no so bo mu wo amano ni bibia ewiase fa na bibia obi etie ti metwa me ho besisi a Miss Simon Makobi Dadake ya Masai aba ye to adwumadian an sisa ye share EIU EIU say EUI emu any Fitch wo mu ye memfan say wo mu ye nhwehwemu ebisebisa enipa ne noma ekoso na de omu de omu hwehwemu aba ye beka eho asem na ye hwe 10 of the budget ehun semo a eba ya na se ebeto edwa ne edikan eye la General Hospital so wo mbesi la General Hospital government no akwakoji sika na se wo disika edi ama contractor won kon start afesu wo mudi ne to so mienu eye ukrapen na wachro eye zero VAT tax on sanitary pads mama obewo ehun asem biaka zero VAT on sanitary pads. And a toss so a 22 million Ghana cedis to support the victims of Akosombo Dam spillage a by year. Na a B just say NDC for the own to the MP before go be in you know. I'm a for my ID cards. Oh man, I love my people, man. That's what's up. And zero VAT rate on local made African prints. Samuti and my name political analyst Peter Tekpe Kamwasam and Sasam zero taxes on the locally made fine print. Say na yakwa yakoko to be channel. So night economy boost. The government will set up a task force to regulate public-private sector partnership to enhance security and lighting infrastructure to drive night economy initiatives. Say Drew and fa wo mu dwan ni ade no ya na akromfo ho ntino wo mo edi enozu so wo maye nhihyaye kese eka ho afesu DDEP Domestic Debt Exchange Program and so ade o muka wansam say DDEP no has been successfully completed and steady progress is being made on external debt restriction yesikana yese ewo amanone no omuso omudi nhihye baako so edia ato ho ana so omudi nhihye bibre ato ho ne etoso biom external sector outlook performance and also eka ho afi financial sector no financial sector support 2.4 billion Ghana Chopabu City to embark to address banking sector challenges, including recapitalization of National Investment Bank. And make it 10 no, and no 10 no mububoso no, make it sa 10 way. And we international funding support. International funding support nina yes IMF loan any cocoa syndicate loan for the rest of the year into international funding support and also account afi expenditure near to so say expenditure surge. As the total expenditure for 2024 is projected to increase by 21.3 billion Ghana cedis. 21.3 billion Ghana cedis. Until na mebubo so ni nyina no. Eno ena abanya wowoso essay nkunim budget ena NDC for so say David we die totoro akwa bibia enim enti we die momo ne tofa mfema me bibia mako survey no a patcher say okay media mumma we tofa mami menko wofa sa budget we no that sa budget we dey kitwe bi factor to kitwe mami. Does this budget give hope to the average Ghanaian on the street? I mean everybody medika ka ye obi a wosua ade woton and does it give wait 2 minutes pe na yenkomra IU dey so okay, does it give any hope? Does it any hope cry? Yeah, man.
No, you thank you very much. We dey me born on said the okana. That is send your make sharp here no. And na make catch. There is no hope in the budget. In some of market the wabo swing no. How does it reflect in the pocket of the ordinary Ghanaian? Inflation now. Omo dey see omo the inflation about 35, which is not true. 35 require na some the inflation about 35. So let's assume it is true. Offer inflation for 17%. Now and now I will 35. That is papa. Maybe so. Question maybe sir. Offer inflation from 17%. Now we see a binary bomb move to an incompetent. Now and then I'm 35 a year. You forget to say 35 no pone a for 54.3. 54.2 near that became a boy. And I said now about 35 cry. So purchasing power is very low. That became a boy. As compared to Mahama'S time now 17, but that became a boy. 17 is 35 and yet almost double. Me boy. And you know, there no worker. And salary is still the same. And in someone dedicated the American part to the and some now. How is he going to help the ordinary Ghanaian on the street? The ordinary Ghanaian is rather going to be burdened more because inflation. I'm 35 and I'm 40. Come to 35 there. My main for 35 in job. 17% Ramusi and Ghana for bread. 35 in Ghana for better manner. That is a question we have to ask ourselves. And to people in Parliament, I don't know what is wrong with them. You say you are talking to people who are learned. Ghanaians, we are learned people. So what they are saying that okay. Basic economics, no na made them 35 inflation, purchasing power, no, and 17% that time na pay. When the car corner uko year, Mahama'S time 17%, no, and 35%, no, price no be the same. The price will double, triple, and quadruple. It's still there, the same thing. Bibiamba from. So what they are saying. It will be a federal marketing because he's a lawyer. You go and start. What are you saying there is rubbish? Unless maybe you don't understand things. And I'll be follow. Rubbish. Well, he said nothing there. I'm giving you the basic economic terms to not be breaking one. What they are saying. Forget about his lawyer statue near there. The all kind of rubbish.
Okay.
What is that thing he's talking about going to do?
Okay.
The purchasing power of the ordinary Ghanaian is still depreciating. CD to the dollar near saying 11 to 12 CD. You took it at 3.9. Then on my phone, that came for also who follow me.
Okay, all right,
when
yo.
To be here, the ordinary, budget to the that can Yamana one listening. It is hopeless. It is a hopeless.
Okay, Joe, Mate.
That is going to make Ghanaians improve their life.
Joe.
It is rather going to deteriorate the life of Ghanaians and make them worse.
Okay, Joe, Mate. May I say what I don't know or say it's not fixing anything for the ordinary person on the street. Until the men call a just a papa. Where the bonito bonito mammy na yanko.
Some budget no me and your theory. Obi na trust no ordinary jine akasa wa meka.
Oh, there be enya na adwene o. What can you miss ni o? Enya na adwene. Yeah, I mean they come up with numbers. Yeah. And
Obeka Yokrano. Obia, why deputy minister for finance, Kwaheli Craft, some of Bakasa. Yes, will be near rubbish there. The deputy minister, who are finance, or we the mayor foolishness. So we near rubbish. That was foolishness. One thing for some Bakurana, I said, I go to you. We the employment teacher, Column Medical Castle said. So you know, we now whatever you call it.
Okay.
What I want to see is to make what in here. I want that theory become practical. Then if you bring questions, let me I will
okay.
Since you're a woman, you see Ghana, let me say, a Ghana, make a Russia president, Vladimir Putin, maybe a camera park or social media, we could exercise. We could go to Ukraine, maybe what's going on in Ghana from airport. And then we're going to see, on to some extent, Ghana about America. I'll send it to you. We could surgery. I'm here to come to show me because what is going on? Somebody must die for the benefit of Ghana. Generations.
That's right.
You're barely a pro. You're barely in classic casa. You're barely. Let me say, King casa. I mean, coward, and that's what it means. The politicians will be over. We have to take kings and whip them in parliament. Because and then we do your super. Someone can go like you want parliament. We have rubbish in parliament. We want to clear them.
Mate, yeah. Joe. Mate, 2 minutes and a sip. Yo, Mate. Me come on, Mahama'S, no some funny day in Kono. We just talking about the average person on the street. Is it going to affect them? Is it going to change their life in some way or shape or form? Tell Mahama'S, what's with the 2 minutes here? And if I toss on yeah.
But and increase BBR. Labadi Hospital now mentioning now it was built. Now, according to United, it was dangerous. No, Mububu over 7 years. Just because you want Baumia to come and power into no, when they are coca budget. Hey, rubbish. Me want trade fair. But me, you know, they be as well. Trade for Mububu no, papa. Because we as young girls, that is where we started learning how to trade, how to meet international people. If foreigners see Baumuchiaka. They come and lodge in hotels at the increase of a year about what and I'm when I'm private people. Okay, be about part. And then Ghanaian girls at boarding house. That's the case. One day a programmer, I have forgotten and Yako be our JSS.
Yeah, this time we'll bring resourceful. Yeah, yeah, that's what we do.
I just said, in Quadrano, they don't even have access to parts. Me. Sabi, Mami Aminini your vice president, on only the test pass before Bewu Krapono, that she was distributing pass to schools for free. She donates pass to school for free. Where Krapono, as I say, BB, Sabi, Mekai say, I was shocked. We went to Ethiopia. Omudi condom atube bia. Everywhere you go, there was condom in the place. I was shocked. That was to inform the people about how to take care of them and Ghanaian girls being sure 50% be who bad that more villages now they are still using cloths and I'm watching.
Na part they will say I buy a chiche. A part they will say I buy a chiche and that's also one who to be. I mean I don't know.
And what's a buy a chiche, but even to schools no crap no or chicha and Kenya to schools and yet the public. To schools like boarding schools, like I'm saying in Ethiopia, when there was AIDS, there was condoms everywhere. So oh, and then delayed part Ghana. So how many parts are who did distribute to schools? Meanwhile, that became Maminja no answer. It's part of tax free abasono. How much is it? How much is a part? I'm on the tax free. But yes, me a part of Ghana. So delay no money and my brown no more part, no more oil nadia. What does it take a country to open a factory that does parts? Oh, the channel. Okay, after so okay, be about I before the way Uncle Foka say when be a part, the way they treat them, why should step water? You're too bad during COVID. And before the the way they treat them, it's almost much and omudi shono ever go almost now individuals, maybe classmates at the Asari, what will see how many bedrooms, but it's big, how many bedrooms will see a man for Namuka Mako and also I said budget. Why can't you need a Sikabia or Coffers one a year emergency fund BB? When Mama was there, he left all those things. Ojasani when you are funds for this, emergency fund. It's any fine. Mabe dini na poto, and this force our parliament. Mabe this is coming up poto, says Canasa. Sir, going to tell my is taken from Ghanaians for them to be taxed double.
Okay.
I can only 10 again the points in the ban. I can show the 10 are a disadvantage to Ghanaians.
Okay,
yeah. Double on taxes.
Mate.
Nationally, are double on taxes. So all this money that they are taking from the money that is not there, how are we going to survive? How are we going to penetrate through 2024?
Okay.
Where some kicker, or so we still about the idea, and then so my idea.
Okay.
So my sister, you both grow more big time.
Mate. Mami amano no labadi die ne ni die chiripa trade fair ne ade on ye beka once. I think we had to talk about this labadi and the trade fair, especially those days na ye school no yeah ye water no Your Fabas school near trade fair. No, it was beautiful. Well, one could be that time, and it was beautiful, beautiful. School for baby, you know, meet a green with the rack in there. It was beautiful, and after we see rare things, I'm for handmade, so on. Handyman in your mind, and it motivates you until you become once America. That okay. Michelle Mwabas is here. 2024 budget. Is it a victory budget or is just an empty budget?
Asampayetia Obayansa Fusu Bunibia one kana sam Zema futu sam kakre wa susume Yo kofi Oman ya woman Omani ya memana Geni baby ako Wacha zaza ya wareni Wonsom wanipa Kasajipa wofyoye Yamo yemberaye Ebeya Nena Omaya umano Omaya mamana Adiwaya nobra Yamita
Joe Busia for dedicated here 4 Stars Radio TV Atlanta, Georgia, USA, and I'm in my video for your chicken como. I'm on your 70. I was say it's answer money a yin idea, near back for dia, and yaman you go back for dia, and to the yin. We are just being a citizen. Yeah, or mamba pat and ye be shy dear for, and into and I baby shimuhana. Ya church ya and so on. Okay, now come 2024, 2 UK-based firms, the Economic Intelligence Unit and then the Fitch Solution, have predicted victory for former President John Mahama in the year 2024 presidential elections. This they attributed to the reasons of factors including declining living standards, limited job opportunities, and then a poor public services. Moti the year party. Economic Intelligence Unit and Fitch Solutions are more a year. Antimagi Kromo and Omodia Base. Year 2 abano 2024. The whole thing. Mamping that a demuse ya. Now Adia Bakwa. I was saying to say this group, you know, they are always 98% accurate. 98% accurate. Why and no more mujina so a year me fans asetina ekofom on manimu dina eje and in so anyhow and I share a chromosome a send a nyoma enko ye no send nyoma mi send no mudi jina so and I mu say nation builder ye 2 about cc and as 2024 we be fun say yeah you be back say hands down ente menkoi. Nah, I'm going to be so fire. How credible are these reports, and do you think it will be a cool chop for Mahama in 2024? What fire? Way, would you tum? Say Mahama hands down 2024 pew and one say 2025. Now what fire? Deputy Minister, not just a minimum yamina ya koyoko did it. This and how do you think? How credible do you think about this report? How credible? We ain't cry. Why? Aha. Into Maneko. Yeah. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Obi 5 minutes. Yeah, you call Samasa. Yeah.
That the report today no true do because he had the facts and figures na and one so that economic intelligence unit for you too yeah. Only me submission no first no mechanics
right.
It ya oma access to government no. So see e be change abaya that the yeah, change your mind because of your party colors. Say MPP for color near, some color near red, white, and yellow, a sample, a red,
white and blue.
and
Yeah, red, white, and blue.
White and blue. Yeah, red, white, and blue. Thank you very much. And the answer at the end red in white in back could be count. Me name your color. Oh dear, my fan to change.
Now, would you natural ways to say winning party colors? Hey,
meaning that decay, but
Mammy, I'm a kick a bit. Okay, you're fatty. Okay, you're back of us, but
dedicate and you color non tina yet to Abama. What they are
okay, that's fine.
Brabe Juma, not Fasum Ghana by a Ghana, my what they are there. Manko for one tom, and nothing almost to Abama Kupa name, Baumiano, what they are the MPP for no buy. Almost promises be no my no almost say NDC, but the figures are there. Obedient to me joining you. Inflation, now 17.4%. And then a 54.8. What they are saying. And yes, I dedicate. Purchasing power is low. And just say, I Timamu for no more children. Dedicate what they are saying. Sika kakira beba untem no come market up goods ni ye increasing is anything and now for that price and answer or chana is because inflation no keep on rising. And ma Timamu for no more children who pass. And this is 70 way for ya for 54. And now we say budget we no na make sure you almost a better 35. Would they for 35 no for ma that the case. Fish in intelligent use or 35 and 70. There in a that the case without question. Automatically 17.4 here, because who got to idea now inflation is at 17.4. The price no ain't cost so high. He said at that 35. A very basic economic knowledge. What they are saying. And yes, I'll be better with General Parliament. I can't theory near the and I make catch on a 4 a grown in for more. Into an ordinary man for no quack or top pada. Now inflation is at 17.4. He can't be better pardon. It's not the same as inflation at 35. Acquire for 54. So what I say. It is some way now total debt stock now 120,000 and then now 120 billion and then now 600 billion. Then you be beard one with the tray, toilet and polytank. And who chira that decay. What you say? Salary is still the same. So the ordinary Ghanaian is suffering. And on the taxes in Kwanzaa, they go about 17 taxes. That is they go to the sense you COVID levy tax. COVID year HMO. And so Ghana for that COVID tax. COVID is so no matter that a blessing in disguise for this government. Open your 30 billion premium. America high when you my COVID levy. That came before. Me ma give ma get 3 times. Also why they obi or America be AGB. Ghana for and you but omu to tax for COVID no. Oman wa go 1 year ago. Corporate bodies are contributing 30 billion. Oma dini na. What you have here? Nina ye sikaba Mahama'S abemu no na ye wo 3 oil fields Mahama'S the 1 oil soap ni sika obo ye Mahama'S to Mahama'S na 60 billion and Mahama'S did develop here infrastructure terminal 3 schools 200 secondary schools various what do you call it senior high schools market ni ade ni nyina the employment beba and then ye hu bio Bank of Ghana nko abeboka 60 billion Mahama'S sika Mahama'S Bob Ushia from with Mahama'S in Mahama'S 60 billion and a taxes on Mujika only at the 90 and at the other Hokaka on the 120 and then Bank of Ghana and Kwabo within 7 years aboka 60 billion just and Kopona Chase Kennedy under this government. And to compare government that year Mahama'S is 60 billion on a develop terminal 3 and they
okay. 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 1 minute. 1 minute.
Oh, and you know that the case. I say some American, almost busy was at the make actually we. They say who under this government. Oma borrow for see ye 600 billion 120 according to 600. You can't show us anything. Toilet and polythene. Mahama'S 60 billion ye nema mabubo ni na to create a juma. What you say? And you come Mahama'S to anka Ghana by this I have New York amiti. But omudi ano dene kasadene eyi ne dada nkofo kajoling west ni ade and omudi G power.
Okay.
Omudi o minor for 20 years.
Okay.
What you say?
Mate.
Nkofo no mo ye eyi no that ke minimum si. Omo ye eyi no. Oma says you this government Ghana be for 20 years. Nka Mahama'S mmom na Ghana economy a obia ho behinhan no nti omo pese omo hu se Mahama e de oman ne che ne nsa e de sa ye die na no wa pay ato niema na wo ni project no the visionary leader niema na wo ye gu no obesa de aba ama Ghana for ho beto mama kodana nya bebrese na omu komu na so betwa na mbom e de ye die ene kunimdie ne adwuma ebeba because of the 24-hour economy ba.
Okay, Mate, what for? Eno ano, Joe. What for ya? Eno Wobeka sasama adiachi inteno. Minko echia. Asafaka, Papa Jesafaka. Jesafaka. Or they are too mute, no. Aha, me wa hapa. What in me bisaya no? Aha.
Yeah, for me,
okay.
What do you call them? EIU? Is that what they are called?
Yeah, EIU, yeah. EIU and Fitch. Economic Intelligence, yeah. Okay, me too.
But I'm telling you this as my number one. That man can never be a president of Ghana again. Write it down.
I think.
Baby, I am a catch-up.
I think, yeah.
Listen, no, I'm telling you. EIU predictions will be a human, but spiritually, a man, I mean, the man of my pain that affects me. Upa chirafo udi ye baye elections no waka ke katro onyame use PIME time oduma former president aside he can never be a president of Ghana. Write it down. You can be check my main class in me tell say this here ye papa no say on the way ye who so ye a presidential candidate ye who's the number one abeka ho ye limited person over. Maybe you're going to have about 4 presidential candidates who may vie for the next election. Fine. If you are over to me, former president, what did he do? Former president, again, what was happening? What did he do? I am very super. It's time that I don't believe in MPP, I don't believe in NDC, but I have respect for leadership. I don't care whoever becomes the president. I'm going to respect him as a president. I wish before the elections, I want everybody to go to Rwanda. The current president of Rwanda. I want every Ghanaian to already the policies of that president. Very brilliant, sensible, knowledgeable, wisdom leader. He's calling a spade and art an art. These are the types of leaders out in here in Africa. So what to say? Who call Rwanda? Some people are even lifting visa. So which one are we here? Leader now show you visionary leader. Now to Africa. Now to Togo, Ghana. Now also only visa in Rwanda. Are you not sick leader? I'm telling you from today, right or take my word. Former president, don't be so fire when you remember Jabako. Again, General Yaya was still in second who could see a none. Even EIU program, every box to look at when the man was leaving, what did he do with the box side? You none know that you don't know what what are you talking about? First, you have questions to ask them. Those political parties leave the same movement now. You have a lot of questions to ask them, and you're going to talk. Because you're not going through. You have to attempt just to face the fact that you sacrificial lamb. This is the time. 2025 election. We are going to talk because of the social media. It won't be easy. I'm telling you, whoever is coming must prepare because we are going to ask questions and we are going to criticize whenever or wherever criticism questions arises. We are going to ask questions. We will move straight. We have to move. Enough is enough. We have to stand for the nation. The nation is not for any single person. The woman be in a chum. Now the other you have a mobile.
Okay.
Me that's it.
So eche esafaka ne amwedie no muni nko ne aka ne yebebo ho ban ye trust dwumedie no so mo amhwe ne wo yasafa na nyina no wo so comment na wo de comment na ato ho na yebeka comment no pepepe na yama obibia so ehunu se wuko bi no wanka bia ende enye ntino wakobi dia wo se wutumi ede wadwenkyere anase ne wunimi ede eba mama ma de bi oka say asamba ko ameka ne nije ho pan say nyansa eni obakofo tirim sa entime ko mama ma hoy. How credible is the report of the EIG and Fitch, you know? Do you think it's going to be a coup chop for Mahama'S come the year 2024 general election? And Mamiama, until wo and I would give you now you free her. Mamiama. Yes,
before I make a prediction, what a friend saying, Mama, you know, the Congress for the UC for the Kokano, or mention the security for 24-hour economy, no, and this MPP for we are smart, and they are some budget. Okay, now prediction on Mamma Cancho as a Faka, Ubisa that the club Cancho physically, then you pass into change. The Mama by year for 3.5 years, no, why are dear? Nipa ya dear. I see a bonabas one. I wanted about Africa, no. Kwame Nkrumah ye see you, and then ye to be Kwame Nkrumah this Mama why are dear papa. Mama Oba no be take over. Ewo Atamoso. Ejimi fan said no, we are Atamoso Juma. Or no, Oba government, no. And Nalado hold the country for 9 months near court. Mama did 3 years, 2 months, and a year go in Sabe said Mama ye no Saka Akufo do ba no be the same thing na Akapadisa Ghana dane Mamenka cho me the nasa for akaka no make kai say Nanado o medida but Nanado eba ye no aka akobetua to asanya na Mama ye schools ne Instagram houses ne no crap obetua to aso pass the same room pass car the same room and you mo odidi na by the Zuma akabade by this time no Ghana yeah excellent. Debia Mukase CDB Ghana, I forgot the name of it. Say Obi Jumano Kosubia. As so be baroba prove bibi. You continue from a one nation what do they call it? The budget or so whatever it is. We continue from where this person stopped. Because she can say it. She can say it. Mama
governors here continue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Continue.
I know there's a CA. Sanabaya Opa. They hold you accountable. Baby, I may do no. The Messi block number the Messi dynamic the 500 blocks. I expect to sell soon the 500 Baba to us near years. And now Upada would any FBI inflation and BB. Then we can read a budget out of that. But Siciano, American Mama is the only person our Ghana Obetwa Ghana ye. Mama is the only smart guy amongst all the presidential candidates. Number one, as a Fakaka BBC Rwanda, I say who say Ghana no, we are different people. East Africa we are different people. Ghana no, Mama can't baby. Now, Madame Fubinia no quite stand for Liberia. Liberia for the country for Paris say, Mr. Yefano Kia, so who good the other. Omoka tell you say, Obaba Yemo Jessica get into a month fado. Oh, and you know. You cannot use the abaya the book now the above Kwame Ghana for no overthrow and corruption no a year over and when you should taxes and your mochia and your bobia and obiadi on the channel Sabi Mama Baharo he held some of the people accountable or she on one minister and to or no power in this canoe or can't say or no yet or no 1 million a harder book. Eso she budget election officer diaba sika no wadi masisi ehubi she sisila pa sika ministers here wo parliament o munyina o mo de e chen sisila da pa ye but where is it? The tradition in the Miswaso, so Mama is the only person who can come to Ghana now, regardless of political affiliations, Obama, you're taking over. I call a different, now we're handing over Mopia also, Sabi, Obeshema of Mana Ye, Etikaka.
So, Mammy Maka Krobby to me, I can't know. Mahama is the only person that will be to me about Abe Ghana or Mani Ye Abra, Sisi and Ye charge you no. Debbie, Asa ye Wakasa, Obiakasa, and no one on Asa ye. Debbie,
with due respect, Mamma, Miss Rowe, with due respect, you know the argument is so every category. Can you about Papa president? Well, yeah, what did it start pushing to say pine? Tell me that.
Also, then dedicate.
Adia Bakwa, Mahama, etumi aye, or sitre, Adia Bakwa, etumi aye, or the stamp.
Hey, dedicate, and they be dedicated, or producer.
Airport, would the airport, Airport Terminal 3.
Ghana is a developing country, and we only need infrastructures to step on to get jobs, to do what we can step up to be economically fit. Na sabi tama ye fi Ghana no, nyama kwa bi kumesi ye no, eno ana na ewo ho. Na factories ni bi su na yi, according to me, my boyfriend, Dr. NDC for na toy, factories ni kufuo so ton bi, obi aton bi no ma ton. There is nothing I gonna need better than the source. Even for give up, Mama revives it. Sure, Asabaka, what do you Ghana? And conform to idea, Mama here. Mama, why are you more? If you always say, oh, team radio so now different. Oh, Ghana, me say, me do, me and your airport, me do Lego Hospital, no. And I'm saying, whoa. Car me fire, Papa the Shebe, and I'm saying, wait, Mama, why yes, she can't build the hospital, why are you? What the question? When you question,
when you talk of so, and then I'm going to say, you can't.
Oh, when you say, oh, real, wait, Nanado, Echo Commission here, oh, real, complete. Maybe call Ghana, no one year before, Nanado, Echo Commission 2 years ago, the last year. I'm telling you. Now, so when you ever work for commissioner, it's in line. It's in line with what needs to be done for the country. It's in line. Work for commissioner, and yes, she. And then you put them in Bobo. Oh, so many Tamale airport to Kumasi, airport to Tamale, schools. And the Mama, why are there? Obiya dear Mama.
Okay.
He's one of the young president, and he has done very well.
Okay, Joe Mate. Madam was say near computer no me ebusia for madam nyina say na Debra me besisi a muntie we kogotie budget ni biom ya ba bevie.
Mr. Speaker, tax reliefs. Our approach to tax policy since 2017 was to give significant relief to the private sector until expenditure pressures from 2020 required a more aggressive approach. It is important to note that in the short term, fiscal sustainability requires that we improve our tax ratios significantly, otherwise our long-term competitiveness will be eroded. As we all know, our country's 13% tax to GDP ratio is far below our peers. Our target is 18 to 20%, and we are on course with 16% hoping to be achieved this year. In that regard, it is difficult to implement all the structural reforms and tax reliefs needed to immediately lower and or eliminate certain tax handles. However, I assure this august House that we have heard, we believe in lower taxes as a government for industry, and we are working at this aggressively with the GRA and to be cemented with the Standing Committee of the Mutual Prosperity Dialogue. Mr. Speaker, further to the above, the following reliefs have been prioritized for implementation. to extend, Mr. Speaker, the zero rate of VAT on locally manufactured African prints for 2 more years. Mr. Speaker, to waive import duties on import of electric vehicles for public transportation for a period of 8 years. Mr. Speaker, to waive import duties on semi-knocked down and completely knocked down electric vehicles imported by registered EV assembly companies in Ghana for a period of 8 years. Mr. Speaker, to extend zero rate of VAT on locally assembled vehicles for 2 more years. Mr. Speaker, to zero rate VAT on locally produced sanitary pads. Mr. Speaker, to grant import duty waivers for raw materials for the local manufacture of sanitary pads. Mr. Speaker, to grant exemptions on the importation of agricultural machinery equipment and inputs and medical consumables, raw materials for the pharmaceutical industry. Mr. Speaker, a VAT flat rate of 5% to replace the 15% standard VAT rate on all commercial properties will be introduced to simplify administration. To address the negative externalities of plastic waste and pollution, government will review and expand the environmental excise duty to cover plastic packaging and industrial and vehicle emissions.
This is the MPP government bye-bye budget. Cruel, insensitive, and out of touch. It is obvious that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the chair of the economic management team, is not within the understanding of what is going on in the economy. He is out of reach, and obviously out of reach by failing to understand the realities of the ordinary Ghanaian. The NPP government has plunged the ordinary Ghanaian into extreme poverty and hardship. This is largely because of what the Catholic Bishop Conference aptly described as the massive and uncontrolled corruption in the government of Bawumia and Nana Adamfa Akufo-Addo.
You see, dear, Mwati Nina Kenoforata, Nidia Bekaye, Ato Force in the rebuilder, or no so ordinary dear, a buyer, and Tinia, dear Dikan Kayan, my bidja for in us, and Mwamushe, Yasafanina, Madam was a 4 Stars Radio, Bede Dedicate TV. Adamuina se mamiama eja asafoka ene wo fire mia binia kuma medamuina se say ye betun krato no ye de apete ne saa eno ana ye guso ye ni de bia isan say ade ba ko na nado kan ya e de ende da miti wo say be a citizen, not a spectator. You know, we are just being a citizen. Ye na ye wo hina obi aka na we are being a citizen ade enye de enye. And yeah, if she say it's say a way for the soon internal a quite chili, other phone for the idea a quite chili be internal obiaso betibi na wafan wajin near ye was say of the bonnet brand just say or the abonnet bra maker is so no nisa mija a yummy producers Maxwell Wilberforce to be our Wogana afi Black Sam so come home and then Andy at Jemai. Wamunyina ena wamubo se dwumedie esanse meka se mfidie ni ntino fakwa uwo bia no mamia manemba bi ejesa fakwa ba disakre bia no nam Canada kra na so yina ba betetwa ya adwen wei ayo bia adwen kire so obi ka se obi betuma ya bibia ono na adwen kire na so the reality no ewo ho AI for ede omudi aba keoforata de ne di aba atu force de ne di aba afenyo makins so ede ne dia ba obia e kanedie nti wo a wote wo no so no wo so fa ho adwen ade a ye beye a ebema wunua wo busua wo ba wo jere wo kuno wo maame wo papa wo nana bi ahoto ede ahoto beba no eye ema ye nyina sense ye wa ma no ne no se Ghana fo mo hoto mo a ye botom adwen Mami ama boejuma sa wafa so boejuma sa ejesa for di Canada konia ba ni nyina esa ebusua ye wo ewo ekiri nti e wo se ye hwe wo enti na ama no abasa enti no yesremo a amanyokuofo amanyosemfo mum dia mum fix your chronoma na what you be a baby that sansem way yen dia mo ho ene ye be dia mo ho chira o so mo your man ye na ye na ye ho ton na ye ho ton so a yetumi abayefie na epese ye ma me ma na no menene kaza zi wo pentem kro wa kufia kodwe no chronomo order ye Ghana chrono is the best country you can ever find. Ukofie pa na wona mo na no ni wo fa ina kofie wo hwe se no musiti wono mudi nkomo ne ade efe so ho na adenti na munyo mani ye kakra mfa maye we de media atoti eto ketuwe bi intino dad k de bi am kase if you want to see asan ye bibie ni hobi everything is done. We've done no more come
Nesia asafu akane Dr. Kwampa mami amade makohu
mami amade we akase na yebeshia akase ye na yebeshia fakwa ewo no
sada dike ukra menchia oda
debut but yebeshia
Bra Georgia Bra Atlanta ye na edoso ha
since 2015
I check
Bra Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving is up in 1 week Bra na am function just there you go I'm so excited
I was happy.
No. Yeah, that's the best way. Yeah, you know, whatever happens, your brothers, we come from the same motherland. We have to share some of these values, and especially human values is very, very important. Human capital is very important.
Atlanta.
Georgia, but I did Canada, but we did Canada. New York, the piano, the cup. All right. So. Medamuina say medamuina say monko so na would like here na washe sa na just a wo pete mama would like here na washe sa all the social media outlets na amamfo so ehun say ye wa brochire de na so ye dweno man ho o man ye dia enti na wo say ye dweno ho na omoye ni yie na ye nyina so ye ho dwe ye pese ye call early retirement ye mu bebre pese ye call early retirement. But also mututu nyoma isisiano 24/7 security is coming, which is very good. 24/7 job is coming, which is good. Mofani na jicheso na ya huntoya. Enti abusiafo emrason. I gotta go. Makramo Daddy K. If you want to see somebody who can make a change, you stand in the mirror and say, what can I do for myself, my nuclear family? What can I do for my city, state, and then the country as a whole? But engineer baby and you say dear dinner what the bema would ye juma umpeso be juma that's hypocrisy. You don't do that. So when mom emulate somewhat shall be now who say ubetumi aye na chance so no bi so ahwe na aye na chance so na ye koyenum saa ye hwe kromo ha nipa tuntum ebabeye o mampani ewo kromo ha se wonwo uhwe abakosemo a ache nti ubetumi aye bibi. Don't sit down and fold your hands. When we are school 10 years, when you be creative and innovative. So yeah, baby, don't sit down because the Jumano and Maya, you don't sit down. Go and do it. Well, when the going gets tougher, the tougher gets going. And to that, okay, I am out.
Sampaetia Obayansa Pusu Bunivia one kana sam Zema to some kakre wa supreme Yo Kofi Omaya woman Omani ya memana Geni baby ako Wacha Jaya Waren Wonson Wanini pa Azadi